And guess what, y'all? We are definitely back with another one. I ain't trying to waste y'all time, and I know y'all want to jump right into the video. So let's go ahead and do that, fam. Let's go.
You wanna join in the gang, son? What the hell are you doing? They're no good for you to hang. Your whole life will be ruined. Now look.
Yo, man, I ain't gonna hold you. I like the my bad. I like the feel of the track and whatnot, yo. It's rare that you see a father and son have a conversation that like real. You know what I mean? It's like really soft conversations that you actually see aired on freaking TV. But like a father, a father and son conversation like this, I think need to be had and need to be showed that is being had. Because it does a lot. It does a lot of good to the boys and whatnot. You know what I mean? That they have a strong father. Let's motherfucking go, fam.
What the hell are you doing? They're no good for you to hang. Your whole life will be ruined. Now look at me. But pull up, mate, when I talk to you, son, that shit is hurting me. You got the same meals as your mom. You guys are lucky. I had to live my life in the mountains and drive a taxi in Ibiza with all the blessings I counted. Then mom had your older brother, so we moved to New Zealand. So you can get a better life and never slave for Salivas was finger God. Knowing my English is bad, but yet I still went to work and got this house that we had. Got us all out the stir, gave a third to the church, set the rest aside more. I put my head down and worked, yo, ungrateful. Raise you up to try and be something. You bring the shame to a name and no good as nothing. I should.
Damn, man, it's like, man, I don't hear him say one good thing about his son yet, yo. That's crazy.
Raise you up to try and be something. You bring the shame to a name and no good as nothing. I should to son on you for wasting my time and my effort. All the money I for fun that you ignored it and left it so good.
And I think like that's a drawback sometimes and whatnot when it comes down to a father and whatnot. It's all the energy that they give out. I had a dad and whatnot. So I understand the type of energy. Rest in peace, dad. You know what I mean? But like the energy that he gave me was like probably like more like, yo, don't do that. You know what I mean? Do this. You know, there was not a lot of comfort and whatnot. But I think the fact of the matter is like you don't go to your dad for like comfort. You know what I mean? You go to your dad for like direction and shit. You know what I mean? And more or less, if you're a guy and whatnot, you go to your mom for the support. You know. So it's like a double edged sword. If you need help and whatnot, your dad is always gonna be there for you and shit. If you want a hug and shit, you go to your freaking mom. You know what I mean? Because I don't know with a dude, but with the daughters is different. You know what I mean? You kind of give them a little bit more affection and shit because they you want your son to be like really freaking hard and whatnot, so they could deal with the environment of freaking like life. You know what I mean? Because it's hard being a man in general and shit. So you don't want your son to be soft. You know what I mean? Let's motherfucking go.
All the money I for fun that you ignored it and left it so good.
I like how the freaking effect hit, like when he started talking and the shit started going. I think they flashed at his son for a second and it went muffled. Because a lot of times when your parents are talking to you and shit, you're there, but you're not actually there. You know. So that's a good effect that they put on the track. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but if they did, that's fly.
All the money I for fun that you ignored it and left it so good. You have no reason not to succeed. You're in a place of opportunity to grow from a seed, but yet you waste it.
Like he stopped listening. Like he just stopped listening.
Always gonna be tough in these streets, but son, face it. You're still or you're 6 feet deep, so don't embrace it. Every night I pray for you, son. He watches over you and redirects you back to your mom's. This shit is stressful. Lils pull up every day. You raise up the blood pressure, sending mom to her grave.
You raise up a blood pressure, send your mom to her grave, bro. Bars.
Lils pull up every day. You raise up the blood pressure, sending mom to her grave. I told them they can have you, they can take you away. King Amaka, it's hard for me to look at your face.
What does Kimalaka mean? Like, it's time to look you in your face. What does that mean? Holla at me, bro.
They can have you, they can take you away. King Amaka, it's hard for me to look at your face. Lomela, Watch out when you screw up that face, get fatty. They make me get up all in your
Yeah, all those words that are not English and whatnot, I need a translation, please, and whatnot, because it sounds like he's saying the same thing in both language, and if that's what it is, it's cool. But like if the meanings mean something else and whatnot, holla at me in the comment section, please. Thank you guys.
Watch out when you screw up that face, get fatty. They make me get up all in your space. I fought, sir. I put you in that critical state. You hear me?
He said, "Man, I'll put you in that critical state. You hear me?" Shit.
Bars. Get up all in your space. I fought, sir. I put you in that critical state. You hear me? They make the cops come take me away.
He said, "Don't make the cops take me away." Damn.
I put you in that critical state. You hear me? They make the cops come take me away. So stop crying. Pack your bags and live on the streets.
Oh man, he said, "Pack your bags and live on the streets, bro." He's like, "I had enough, bro." You know what I mean? Bars. But I disagree with that shit. You know what I mean? No matter how fucked up a situation your freaking kids get you and shit, you gotta be a ride or die for them until they freaking get off their feet and shit. You throwing them out on the street, you're making their problem, you're making your problem the world's problem and shit. You know what I mean? Make sure you send your kids out healthy and freaking able to freaking survive in a positive way and shit, man. Like I ain't gonna hold you, man. That shit is like really or even the ability to earn. You know what I mean? Just make sure they have the ability to earn with a trade or something. You know, don't just put them in the street like that, and you know, like they not gonna survive. You feel me?
They make the cops come take me away, so stop crying. Pack your bags and live on the streets. Go lock the boys that you hang will give you somewhere to sleep. And while they did, tell them fix you something to eat. I worked hard to get us here, and that's the thanks you give me. I put the Yofus on your back, saying vials on your feet. All the food
saying vials on your feet. The sneakers is vials? That's bars.
Thanks you give me. I put the Yofus on your back, saying vials on your feet. All the food on the table, lunch money for the week. All the power that you waste. Also paid to school C instead of going into class. You're hanging out with Moy P's.
Moy P's, I guess, the goons in the street. I don't know. You're hanging out in Moy P's, or is that projects? P's, Moy P's.
Also paid to school C instead of going into class. You're hanging out with Moy P's. I just also in the mode.
It sounds like freaking projects. I don't know, peas, because of peas at the end. Moya and peas at the end. Probably, or he's saying like, you hanging with the goons, man, when you're supposed to be going to school.
See, instead of going into class, you're hanging out with Moy P's. I just used to bars every day. Rain, hail, shine, a storm. King Ainga just to play. The Akala. Wake Mumu every day. Rain, hail, shine, a storm. King Ainga just to play. The Akalafus that we have. The Alofa for the church. So we're worthy of the heavens, never ending at the hearse. But the way that you be.
Now, you see, like I feel this shit right here. Like this scene right here is him building up and shit, and he's like, "Yo, bro, I don't even know why my dad is talking to me like that, man. Me and my friends are not even that bad." And that's the energy that's coming from all his friends or his peoples in the back, like freaking egging him on to freaking go ham on his dad and shit. And like I always say this shit, like with a freaking a father-son relationship, there's always a point where, you know what I mean? A dad is trying to guide their son towards their direction of freaking manhood and whatnot, but your son sees a different version of manhood, and along the way and shit, you're gonna have that father son fight, and this looks like that's the father son fight that I've talked about and I've experienced as a young man. You know what I mean? Because you have to clash with your father eventually and shit, because your father's not going to see things 100% like you do. You know what I mean? But let's motherfucking go.
Rain, hail, shine, a storm. King Ainga just to play. The Akalafus that we have. The Alofa for the church. So we're worthy of the heavens, never ending at the hearse. But the way that you be heading, you remain there in the dirt. Me and mom will be okay, cause we're serving God's work.
He said, me and mom will be okay. Cause we're serving God's work, man. He's like, yo, You a child of the devil, man. Golly.
You beheading, you remain there in the dirt. Me and mum will be okay, cause we're serving God's work. And if I knew, I should have just left you inside, so we can take your privileges and live belong a kuwa. Teach your kids to be grateful, acknowledge the man with this love that is hateful that we don't understand. I'ma stop you right there. Never be the type to be abusive, fill us full of fear, label us to be a nuisance, tell us that we're useless, disgrace to your name, to embarrass the even user. You can save all that shame. You weren't around. You love your church more than your kids.
Damn, man, you wasn't around, Dad. You loved your church more than your kids, bro. Shit.
Even user, you can save all that shame. You weren't around. You love your church more than your kids.
Ooh.
Same praying church hands that never choose to forgive. Those boys gave me the time when you focused on church.
He said, "Yo, the boys gave me the time when you boys." Hold up.
Church hands that never choose to forgive. Those boys gave me the time when you focused on church.
Your boys gave me some time when you folks was in church, bro. He's like, yo, you wasn't taking care of us. You was taking care of your church business and whatnot. But meanwhile, them boys in the streets was taking care of us, you know what I mean? Well, not taking care of us, was taking care of me, you know what I mean? When you was worrying about your church deeds and whatnot, you wasn't being really a good father. You was being a good freaking you was being a good church man, you know what I mean?
Chance to never choose to forgive. Those boys gave me the time when you focused on church. Did I ever cross your mind when you was reading that verse? They were there when you weren't. I never cared where you were. Never shared a single word. Just prepared for the worst. Never brought me anything. Never knew of my worth.
Damn, he said never brought me anything. Never knew my worth, bro. That's crazy. He's just basically saying like his dad didn't know who the fuck he was internally. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, he wasn't there. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're there and you're not there. That's the thing too. You know what I mean? You could be in a home with somebody every freaking day and not be there. You know what I mean? Not be physically present for the person when they need you and when, you know what I mean? Let's go.
Word, just prepared for the worst. Never brought me anything. Knew of my worth. Never taught me anything. All I know that it hurts. Never taught me how to love. Never taught me how to drive. Only taught me how to lose it when it's bottled all inside. All I wanted was a father who can spend a little time, or even just a daughter. You can show me just a sign.
All right, man. All I need is a dad that can spend a little time. That's bars right there. You know, with me and whatnot, yo, like when my dad was alive and whatnot, the time spending that I had with him and whatnot was like freaking like him fixing things in the crib and whatnot, and me being Mr. Helper. You know what I mean? And when I'm saying like Mr. Helper lightly, you know what I mean? He was like, "Hey, pass me the wrench. Here you go. Pass me the freaking screwdriver. Here you go." You know what I mean? And I feel like that those little freaking tiblets and times being spent and shit taught me a lot. You know what I mean? Because like I have a love to fix things up because of that. You know what I mean? Like whenever like I'm like changing a light bulb or freaking doing freaking house tools and whatnot, I really think about those times and shit that I had with my dad. He didn't talk a lot, you know what I mean? And the times that he did talk and whatnot, um, he was just a clown, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day and shit, yo, those like moments and whatnot that really freaking cemented a good time for me. You know what I mean? Um, there was other moments that were, hey, but you know, we all have like those moments as well. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I definitely see where he's coming from and whatnot. You have to have um a presence of like freaking like your dad being on your side. You know what I mean? Let's motherfucking go.
Father who can spend a little time, or even just a daughter. You can show me just a sign that you love me like your faith, but couldn't put it all aside. Instead, I sit here disengaged, where I'm forced to even lie. Never showed up to my games, cause you're working full time. And me
never showed, but you see, it's like it's like I want to be on little man's side and whatnot, but like yo, I'm Caribbean and I understand that shit when I was young. Never.
Where I'm forced to even lie. Never showed up to my games cause you're working full time.
He said never been at my games cause you're working full time. Bro, he's working to fucking put food on the table, son. Come on, man. Come on. He trying to do his best for you and whatnot. Sometimes you have to be a way to freaking put food on the table and whatnot. It's not a negative. You have to be strong enough to understand that shit. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna hold you. That's a point that you fall back on. I gotta fall back on that shit. You know what I mean? He's actually teaching you how to live life and whatnot. Emotionally, like he said, you had a mom and a dad. Your mom should have been there for you emotionally while he was working. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna hold you, man. My dad worked freaking nights, bro. You know what I mean? My dad freaking like was freaking sleeping through most days and shit. I had weekends and chill time with my dad. You know what I mean? So I get the ethics of working. You know what I mean? It's something it has to get done if all the bills are gonna get paid, fam. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Get disengaged, where I'm forced to even lie. Never showed up to my games, cause you're working full time. Had me going through a phase where a piece of me had died. Couldn't see it in my face, my heart breaking all the time. Like I'm just a waste of space, the streets made me feel alive. I just wanted
It was just a waste of space. The streets make me feel alive. Yo, it's a journey for self, though. I ain't gonna hold you. That's a journey for self. I ain't gonna hold you. We all have to go through it. You went through it. Uh, Maybe not the best way, but you went through the journey towards surf. Towards self and whatnot. And I don't know if you're there yet because you're still freaking throwing stones at your dad. I don't know if you're throwing stones at him because you mean it or you throwing stones at him because you're mad. You know what I mean? But that's what's going on here.
I break it all the time, like I'm just a waste of space. The streets made me feel alive. I just wanted to belong and feel accepted in your eyes. Where the hell did I get wrong to be neglected in your mind? We avoid you every time, too scared to interact. I couldn't help believe my eyes that you were facing to your back. I'm supposed to be a man when you ain't teaching me nothing. Now you wanna take a stand and talk to me like I'm nothing. Where's the lessons in your methods? I just feel unprotected. Every time when you be stressing, shit is so unaccepted. Putting fear into your kids, you call it love and affection. Now you're molding all your blessings into angry new weapons. Saying
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That him the dad talking about physical violence and shit. That shit right there. I mean, like I ain't gonna hold you. Like I ain't gonna hold you. I believe in spankings and all that type of shit. You know what I mean? But like at a certain point, man, spankings don't motherfucking help. You know what I mean? Yo, when your kids start being bigger than you and shit, and the pain don't relate the same way and shit, you're gonna have to fall back on freaking like knowledge and shit. You know what I mean? Like, plus I had girls, so spanking wasn't in the agenda. You feel me? Um, but like at the end of the day and shit, like with boys and whatnot, I would concur. Like, yo, you would have to be a freaking strong ass individual and shit, and have a conversation with your son and shit eventually. You know what I mean? The hitting and fighting, that that as a man it's a last resort type shit. You know what I mean? And when I say last resort, like, yo, it's a life or death result. You know what I mean? When that comes with your freaking kids and whatnot. You know what I mean? Especially boys and whatnot. Well, I ain't gonna hold you, man. There's a little freaking. You want your boys to learn certain things and stuff, and you might have to have a fight with them every now and then. You know what I mean? To just for freaking defense mode. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a boy, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about shit I don't know. But like at the end of the day and shit, yo. Yeah, man. You should never use a violent threat to actually freaking uh put 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 your kids in their place and shit. You know what I mean? If when you have the opportunity to do the right thing and freaking talk to them and whatnot, you know what I mean? And if that don't work and whatnot, yo, I'm trying hard not to say, hey, you know what I mean? Hey, if eight plus if eight plus B equals C, then see it. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I'm done, man. I ain't even gonna try, man.
kids, you call it love and affection. Now you're molding all your blessings into angry new weapons. Same thing that you become, cause granddad had you bettered. Bruce B.
And that's the thing and whatnot. They're talking about freaking um things that happen in the in that line in the family and whatnot that's just continuing and shit. You know what I mean? But I feel like let's fucking go.
into angry new weapons. Same thing that you become, cause granddad had you better. Bruce beat him badly where it really shouldn't have mattered. See a bit of him in you, cause I'm seeing the patterns. There's pure
I see a bit of him in you because I see your patterns.
truth I'm giving you that I put through in the ballot. So believe there's good in you, let's just change for the better.
Why is it the freaking kid that says I see the good in you? What the fuck, bro? Like, when did this become like let's try to get dad right and shit, yo? Dad saying you fucking up, man. How come he gotta get better? Let me stop, man. I get it, yo. I get it. Let's stop the freaking let's stop the chain of freaking hostility against freaking parents and sons and stuff, like the brutality type shit. You know what I mean? And a lack of love.
And I'm gonna show you gratitude and promise you to do better.
I'm gonna show you gratitude and promise you. You see, and that was all the talk. You know what I mean?
Let's just change for the better. And I'm gonna show you gratitude and promise you to do better. We can overcome this. We've been through stormiest weathers. And I ain't here to call it quits. It made us tougher than leather. Tougher than leather. Tougher than leather.
Oh, I thought they was gonna leave it like that. I thought they was gonna leave it like that with no hug for you to make the decision what it was. But like, yeah, I ain't gonna hold you, man. That hug made me a little teary eyed. I ain't gonna hold you. That's sweet right there, guys. That's sweet right there. I ain't gonna hold you. Cause at the end of the day, I always say this shit. Not and me growing up in the world and whatnot, I see it. You know what I mean? If you have a strong nuclear family and whatnot, um, you're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? I think the problems lies in and shit lies when you let the world raise your family. You know what I mean? When I say that shit is nice and simple. You know what I mean? Your home is your home, the way you dictate it. If it's not a violent and toxic um, experience for the children and mother and father and whatnot, it is a great home to be in. As long as you have love and a guideline for improvement, it's always a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, but like when you start letting the world make decisions for what happened into your house, I feel that's a negative. You know what I mean? It's just my viewpoint. You know what I mean? Um, because I've seen what happened with the freaking what they call that shit again, with the kids that were a part of that generation. What generation of that? The timeout generation. You guys saw what happened with that generation. You know what I mean? And I don't want that for nobody. You have it has bred a whole bunch of freaking kids that don't understand consequences correctly and shit. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? This video itself and whatnot is definitely on point. I think it's definitely needed in the freaking in the world and whatnot, and it's gonna do good. You know what I mean? For the father son relationship. And a lot of times, back in the days, we had these movies that would have like segments where they had fathers and sons having like a real talk. Now you don't kind of see that shit because there's more focus on female freaking issues in the media nowadays and whatnot. And we need to go back to having men to men talk and whatnot and express themselves for what it is. You know what I mean? Because I don't think the youngins know how to deal with certain stresses or problems and whatnot. And a lot of times and shit, um, and you can see it, like the ones that do have dads are very freaking well acclimated, and the ones that don't, there's a lack of freaking morals and ethics there. You know what I mean? And I think the dad is there for the morals and ethics and freaking judgment calls that you do, whereas your mom is more lenient. You know what I mean? They give you a timeout. There's nothing wrong with that. You need both, but they just like they're just missing that firmness. You know? Yeah. Anyways, yo, I definitely hope you guys enjoy this track and whatnot, like I did. You know what I mean? If you guys want more tracks from me, boy over here, definitely put me on and whatnot. And I got ya. I got ya. Y'all know it. You know what I mean? That being said, I'm gonna check you guys out next time on the next video. Peace out, on loving them out. Y'all already know, fam. Let's go. You know.